When you're a pastor, and at least a pastor that's preaching regularly, but probably anybody who is a pastor and elder, people's experience of you is often reduced to meetings, and Sunday morning in particular. And so for the guy who's preaching, they're experiencing him after he's put his 10 to 20 hours of study in, and but he appears like he's the guy that just gets up and thinks these deep biblical thoughts, when in reality, very few other vocations do people gather together to see somebody after they've put that kind of concentrated study and have them present it in the best way possible, using illustrations and analogies and things like that in some ways draw you into their life. And so it's a very narrow window that is completely dissonant.
Yes, it is.
With the reality of what their life looks like day in and day out.
Even the reality of preaching. I mean, you just brought to memory a moment I'm preaching at 10th Presbyterian Church. I was a Sunday evening preacher, and I'm in the middle of a sermon. I'm still talking, but my brain is saying, this isn't working. I'm not communicating. And then comes, why am I doing this? I shouldn't be doing this. I can't. This is the best message in the gospel is the best message in the world. And I'm up here, I'm just like a babbling idiot. Meanwhile, I'm still going through my notes.
Oh, I've had that. I've had experiences where I've been teaching, and then my mind just started going. Literally, my mind started saying yada 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 yada, and I realized, okay, something is not working here. If the Spirit of God is here, I need to move to a different spot because I'm missing Him, and my brain's not connecting to the content, and so I default to yada 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 yada.
So one of those moments, I finally get done, and our habit was, after the benediction, the congregation would sit down, and I would come off that big high platform and walk halfway out, and I would just pastorally talk to people and just sort of make some application of the message. And I would always say, this is not just a gathering for worship, this is a gathering community of love on people around you. Don't run out of the room. And then I'd be in the middle of the aisle, and people would come and talk to me, and I'd pray for people and whatnot. And a lady comes up to me. This is one of those sermons that I thought, this was the worst message in the history of preaching. And she came up to me, she said, wow, Pastor Tripp, that was one of the best sermons I've ever heard. And then she said, if it weren't for you and Joel Osteen, I don't think I could make it. And I just started smiling. I thought, God has such a sense of humor.
Yeah.
He just shakes me up and says, it's not about you.